Yo, I created an entire 3-minute animated short film, and in the last video I promised you guys to give you the breakdown of every shot and each scene in my film, and this is that video. Please subscribe, like, comment and share, and let's cook. Yo guys, so this is the breakdown I promised, and are you ready? Okay, let's dive into it. Okay, so here's the first thing. If you've seen the film, if you haven't, I'm going to add it to the card up here. Go see the film first before you dive into this breakdown. Yeah, as you can see, I love the lighting here. Let me show you can see it's a very busy scene. It's a very busy scene, and yeah, I love the fact that I made this place dark because obviously it's a horror film, and if you remember in the film, this is where his demon was walking down from to meet him. Many tricks went into creating this film, and this scene is actually part of some people's favorite. I love it too. I love each scene. You know, I created everyone with blood and sweat, so obviously I love each one. But it being the first scene, I think it's the hardest part of the film that I spent a lot of time here, and on the last scene also, I think, but I spent most time here more than every other scene because the two characters actually interacted well here than any other scene. I'm going to show you some tricks here. The trick of this film is that the first scene is actually two shots. Yeah, they're actually two shots in one. It's when I was editing, you know, I already did my storyboard, so it was easy for me to know what to shoot. I said what to shoot. I know what to render. I'm going to show you how I did the. I'm going to show you. Let me show you let me show part of the film now. This is the film. So from the beginning, you can see this part of the film, and this is the first scene. Then it cuts to this side. It's actually two different scenes I merged into one to create that. It feels like it's one shot, but it's actually two. This is the second scene I merged together to achieve that. The demon is the only one here. She's the only one here, you know. So I got and the thing about me is when I'm working on my film, I used to have many cameras. I can have up to 6-7 cameras in a scene, but this one I think I have just 3 cameras here. Modify this train in both scenes, in this one and the other scene, and the main and the first scene here. So if you notice here, so this part of the tricks here, I didn't do anything much here because I know I'm not using this side for the demon. But notice the train is in the same place. The train is not moving. That's actually the trick. The train is not moving. That's one of the biggest trick here in the film. The train is not actually moving. It's one place, so it was easy for me to draw all this. I didn't even parent them to the train. I just drew them where they are. No parenting, since I know it's not moving. So what sowed the idea of the movement is that this camera, there's a camera shake. I added a camera shake on this camera in every scene, so it gives that idea of the movement. Let me show this other, the first scene itself. Let me show it from the camera view. So there's a camera shake on the camera that showed the effect of the moving train. And another important aspect that showed it also is the fact that I created a plane. Let me show. I created a plane. This is the plane here. It's actually the plane itself is just normal color. Let me go to. You can see it's just a normal gray color. I created an emission for the part where it seems like the train is moving. So the light behind the train window showed that effect. This is a plane with array modifier to make it as long as possible. It's so long that I didn't even need this much, but just to be on the safer side, I made it that long. This is behind of the scene. You can see this is how the train looks like. This is how the train looks like. I cut this part out so I can easily animate, because obviously my character was facing here, so I need to see what is going on like this. You understand? So this is demon. This demon is now in the scene. You know, yeah, his demon is now in the scene. That is the trick. The train is just in one place. Same as the other scene I matched together, this one. The train also is in one place, but the background light is moving to sell that effect of the moving train, like it's moving through a tunnel. You know, it's horror. So I figured the idea of a tunnel is going to sell it more. So because tunnels can be very scary. Yeah. This is the So that's that. I think that's that for the first thing. But it's just fun to see the tricks that go behind achieving each shot and each scene. There are many ways you can sell movement in 3D in animation as a whole. Because now what sold the effect for you as the train is moving is the camera shake and the light. Remember that his demon started coming towards him in this scene. This is how I animated this demon here, coming towards him in this scene. Then this scene finished here. That is this is just where this is the end of this shot here. This is the end of this shot. This is the end of this shot. And I continued that shot in the main scene. I continued that shot, and look at these cameras here, down here. This is how I create my, let me show you from the camera view. This is how I create my shot. That's the first shot, this is the second shot. Another shot. Back to the full shot, to the wide view. Another close shot. So that is how this scene has how many cameras? 1, 2, I think 5 to 4 cameras. So that's how I create my shots, and I can actually show you how I do that. Or I should create a dedicated video. I think I should create a dedicated video to that. I think I should, so I don't deviate away from what we're doing here. Okay, okay, to continue the shot of the demon coming towards him. What I did was very simple. This is the demon this is the demon underneath the train, underneath that model. All those time while he was sleeping and waking up, I made her stand here, and I timed her to when I want her to appear in the camera. Like if I click on this, you're going to see. Oh, sorry, there's a lot of keyframes, so you might not see that. I keyframed that sinking into the floor and coming up when I need her to. So I'm showing you here this is what I call behind the scene of behind the scene. This is her first appearance. This is her first appearance. That is how I created. So she disappeared again. I made her come down again. Then this is her underneath the train, and I made her come back up by the other side of. So this is how I animated her going in and out, like in the film. Let me show you how. So this was her first appearance in the film, and this is a second appearance where she held up his neck. So the name is don't mind the name what I named the I specifically this is another edit of the film I actually created for submission. That's why you can see for submission. The one I uploaded on YouTube has a video of me thanking everybody for watching, so I don't want to submit that one too with the submissions I submit to festivals. So this is specifically for festival submission. Another thing I want to point out here is yes, everybody already know I use grease pencil for there's grease pencil, and the textures on him and the shade are all hand painted. Also the demon is also hand painted. Yes, the demon is also hand painted. This transparency on her is actually a painted marks. I marked that part out on her texture, and she is also painted in case, because she's all black you won't know, but if I come closer you can see her hand here. She's also painted. The outline are grease pencil. These outlines are grease pencils, but the one on his body are hand painted. All these are grease pencil, some are hand painted too. It's just a combination of how I want the feel to be. It's a combination of grease pencil and hand painting. and I'm using I'm using an add-on called Uku Paint. Is it Uchu or Uku? I don't even know, but it's UCU and Paint. This is let me show you the add-on. It's this is it. This is the add-on. It's a very nice one. It makes you paint like you paint in Photoshop in layers in Blender, and it's very intuitive and fast. It doesn't hang and it doesn't get slow like the normal Blender texture painting stuff. So I think I'm done. This is the third scene. This is where it was falling because after his demon attacked him on the train. So this is the third scene, and after his demon attacked him here on the train, and yeah, the demon took him to another dimension. All these are actually happening in his head. If you've seen the film, I'm going to make reference to the film again. You need to go see the film first before you see this breakdown, because you will understand each scene. Enjoy it more, to be precise. You are going to enjoy this breakdown more if you've seen the film. So go do that if you haven't seen it. So now let's dive into the scene, and I think this third scene is one of the easiest scene in the film, because I'm a one-man studio and I need to be very efficient with my time because I have client work, I have other responsibilities to attend to. So this scene is just nothing. There's not even an HDRI. It's a total. My word color is just black, pitch black. I make sure it's pitch black. Then let me show you. Let me turn on everything. Then there is I created a cube with this. This is the shader node. I created a volumetric cube to sell that volumetric light coming in the film from the top of the demon, and she was watching him fall through to another, because everything that is actually when you see the film, everything that were happening to him have been orchestrated by this demon. She actually took different form in the film. So this guy actually saw her, because basically the film is about mental health. So yeah, this is his mental health. This demon here, that is the mental health dealing with him, his demon. Yeah. So and yeah, so it was falling through. I think this scene, I didn't really have much camera, just one. I think I used just one here, and this is just behind the scene. For this scene, I made the demon very big. I made her very large so she can look extra scary. And I made it very dark. It's a very dark scene. This is it. A very dark scene. If you look it through the camera, this is the scene here. So that was it. And I think I cut off her feet here. I do not want the feet to show in the, because by the time this guy gets to this part, you'll be seeing the feet of this. So I don't want the feet to show. I had to cut it out because she's already black, so I can easily cheat that way. If I mention that the smoke on this demon is actually a geometry node setup. This is it here. This is it. And one thing is that I actually tweaked this. I bought this thing on, I think, Blender Market or Gumroad. And the initial concept, the initial purpose of this geometry node is a different thing, but I tweaked it to my own taste. And I dabble in geometry node, but not very much. I don't have the time for it, but some nearest future, I'm taking my time on it. But when I'm done with geometry node, you guys will see. But I've done some dope stuff with geometry node. It's very good to learn. Go learn geometry node. It's a very good thing to know. Because if I don't know geometry node, there's no way I would have tweaked. There's no way I would have done this. You understand? There's no way I would have created or modified the node to my own taste for the purpose of this film or what I want to achieve. So you need to know geometry node, and so that's that for this scene. And it's another dope scene. It's very thoughtful and simple and efficient. You understand? You don't need to waste time on doing stuff. So that's that for the third scene. Now let's go to the fourth one. Okay, so the fourth scene is actually there are some tricks here. So if you notice the first scene has these three big eyes, and actually they're actually moving. I don't know if people realize they were moving forward to scare the shit out of this guy. They're actually moving. So you can see the veins. Okay, so the trick here was that I animated a character looking sideways, like I animated an eyeball of a character. Then I duplicated the eyeball twice. That is what I did here. I animated the eyeball twice, and I'm coming. Let me turn out all this scene. So I animated the eyeball twice, but there were some differences in the movement. So I removed the eyeball and used it for the scene. So yeah, that's the trick behind it. So yeah, these are some grease pencils here. So this obviously, I know I love fog. Actually, this fog was actually the decision. I wanted to remove the fog, so the everything would have looked like this, but it's not giving the scary feeling enough. So I had to add the fog into the mix. So the fog made it more how would I put it? The fog made it more scary and dope. And if you notice, this is actually water, a black water. It's a black water. I'm sure some people actually caught that. You know, that's why it's good to see a movie and see film over and again. So if you've seen the film, you can go back and see it again. So this is actually a water. Let me hide the fog again so you can see. Remember, this is a breakdown. It's not a tutorial. So you can see it's actually a water, a black water. So the trick for this water, I'm not sure if I've done tutorial on it before. This is I think it's a plane also. It's a plane that I'm using a dynamic paint on, and this guy, his entire body is a brush. So I'm using a dynamic paint wave that's going to give you. There are many scenes I've created before that I've used this, because this is actually very efficient than simulating water, because this is not going to tax your PC like it's going to, like a water simulation is going to tax your PC. This is a very, very efficient way to create water when you know that the water is not something very, when you know you're not deforming that water that seriously. There are other tricks to do water without not taxing your PC, but this is one of the best way to do it, especially if the water is not the main subject. Because in this scene now, if you look at this shot now, the eyes coming in, this is how I introduce the eyes. This is how I introduce the eyes. So the main focus, the first thing you're seeing in this scene is the eyes, then the character down here. So I really love the way I set up this scene, the composition also, and yeah, you can see the water deforming here. You can see the water deforming here. So that's actually a very interesting thing. So another thing I made it scary is this blood is it's like guts and blood. That was my intention for it, but somehow it still looked the way I wanted in the final piece, but you can't really see the red there, but it still looks gory and so I think this is also another. I love using geometry node setup a lot. I think these are another geometry node setup. So if you've not started implementing geometry node in your animation, this should motivate you to do so. It's going to really give you smooth workflow to some dope creations that Yeah, because me, when I see people sell their geometry node setup, I'm very lazy when it comes to geometry node. So, I'm in one man studio. I know I'm a 3D generalist. I'm learning every tool possible. So, I've not gone deep in geometry node like that. But when I see a geometry node setup and it's something I feel I'm going to use, there's a big bet that I'm going to use that thing for something else than what the person that created it for use it for. So, like this one is a totally different thing the person intends people are going to use it for, but I just felt it's going to look dope in my in my short film, and so that's it for, I think, yeah. And this scene, yeah, obviously, is shared too, is simulated, interacting with his body. His body is interacting with the water. So there are a lot of interactivity going on here, and I love it. I love it. So yeah, that's the what else should I want to do? Also, this thing doesn't have an AGI, so I wanted everything dark, so that's why everything is pitch black. And introducing the fog into the scene, actually, the eyes are at the back, he's at the front, so it gave us that separation in the scene. I added some light. When you are adding fog to your scene, to sell that fog more, you need to add some light hidden somewhere, or it might just be right there in the camera. So, and yeah, this part I added some bluish and red light here for the part it fell. So the trick, if you notice in this scene, I created the eyes and the guys are at the top of huge cube, so I wanted to make that feeling of him falling, so I created this side. This one is a dark stuff, and so you can tell he fell. I actually sewed that part like that. I made sure it's, yeah, you can tell. So do you know what one thing that made this scene work out, and for you to actually tell he's falling, is because I added that fog. Like I said, the fog separated the background and the foreground and the midground, because there's another thing here. So the midground are these eyes, I believe, and the guts behind them. He is the foreground, they are the midground. The fog actually separated the element in the scene. That's why this him falling down here was perfect. It showed the idea for us that it's actually falling because of the cube I added there. Because I storyboarded it, so that is the best. I already know I had to include the cube in the mix. Yeah. So the camera actually panned from here downwards. Immediately it fell. Let me go to the, so you see. So so it fell and stopped here. Yeah. So, but because there's no light here, you can't see, but the camera actually panned. Let me show you the camera. At the camera. So this is how the camera started like this. So came closer and panned down that way. See, let me go the side view so you see how I animated the camera. So that is the way I animated the camera to give us that scene. And yeah, so I think that's that for the fourth scene. The fifth scene is when he fell down and he started running. Something was chasing him. So now this scene has a lot of trick to it, and if you in the actual film, there's a snake chasing him, and that snake, I should say that snake should be bigger than an anaconda, and that snake was actually destroying the floor, chasing him seriously. So let me show you the trick. There's a lot went into this scene. Actually, I'm going to say this should be the third scene that I was tasking. It was fun. It wasn't that hard. I would say it was hard, but not that hard like the first scene. But let me show you the behind the scene. See the cameras here. God. I think, yeah, how many cameras I used? I think 4 cameras here. Yeah, there are 4 cameras. Okay, so I think 4 to 5 cameras. Yeah. So So this is the snake. So the trick here was actually, this is the I use an array modifier and a cycle array modifier to create. This is actually another tutorial on its own, but I created a scale of a snake, then I duplicated it using array. I also duplicated it over and again. Then I got this. It's actually quite not that heavy, but it's decent, and it's neat. So let me play back like this so you see what was behind the camera. So while this guy was falling, this guy was just rolling here, waiting to chase him. And this way he was standing up from falling down. And the race is good. The race is about to start. And I animated, okay, you can see. You see? So that's basically what I did. Oh, didn't you see that the reverse is actually cool? The reverse of the destruction is actually cool. So if you notice, I did a double explosion. Yeah. Do you know why? Because when I did the first explosion kind of was at the back. So it wasn't enough to give me that. It wasn't enough to give that scary effect. So I created another one. But by that, the second one I created, you wouldn't see, because the camera was behind the character here. By the time the camera is going to show him facing the camera, like showing his face again, we are going to have a very good debris in the hair. Yeah, we are going to have good debris in the air. So that's why I animated a second explosion while this snake is not moving at all. I only animated, this snake only moved twice. The first one here and the second one here. But I timed the snake and the explosion scene, I timed them to give that effect of the snake destroying the floor. But this is actually rigid body. That is another. So this is not a tutorial, so that's I'm not really going into. But you can see, yeah, that it's the debris and rigid body. So what I use for here is the cell fracture add-on that comes with Blender. So we go into quick effect cell fracture. Is under, if you come under your preference, your add-on, you can search for cell fracture. It's actually inbuilt with Blender. So if you notice, the debris are actually I think I did double fracture. That's why you could see this really tiny debris among them also. It's actually fun making this destruction. So another trick I used was, everywhere is dark, so I made sure the edge of the debris has emission, like at the top they are black, but beneath them I made sure they are glowing. So because through the camera and they are also going to light up the same, I made sure they have the emission shader on them, so they can also light up the scene. So another trick in this scene is that I made sure, I've been saying a lot of made sure, but yeah, let's write on. So what I did was, there's an entire plane over the actual debris. You can see. Let me separate them. You can see. So if I was to leave the debris like this, you would have seen this trail on the floor. Because of the cell fracture, you can clearly tell something is wrong on the floor. So that's why I created this. The top of the debris and this plane, they have same material on them. So I could use that one to cover the debris. Since the debris are going to pass through the floor anyway, so this is like another floor on top of the floor. So like you can see that the debris actually passed through it. So for that moment where this guy was falling from the top, it serves as a max, you know, it served as a max, yeah, for the, because if I had leave it like this, I'm coming. If I had leave it like, I wouldn't like it. All this light trail behind him, I wouldn't like it. So the floor being there actually covered a lot. Even for like for this scene now, if it wasn't there, you'd have seen all this trail behind him and you'd be wondering what's going on. But I don't want that. So I wanted that floor to cover it. It acts like a max, but you just see the floor blowing off. Yeah. So then for the door, looking at the film, I can say a movie. It's a movie, yeah. Looking at the film, this two stuff looks like a very huge door. You know, they look like a huge, like they are one huge door from afar, like from here now. Like this place, you're like, oh, look at these huge doors. But they are just another set of plane that I bevel the side here and gave them emission shader like a door. I created a shape of an entrance to sell that, like it's running through a portal to another dimension. So, because if you've seen the film, he ran through here and actually woke up from his daydreaming. Everything happening were actually in daydreaming, and that's just the state of, you know, people being in their minds and losing their minds. And so I'm not trying to portray his demon. So I remember I said this is his demon also. You see the demon from the beginning. If you notice, this is also a black creature. This is another black creature here. So it's the same demon that took another form as a snake. That is the idea behind the film. For this scene, the demon is also the one with the eyes in the last scene. The demon is the eyes. So putting him all through different scenarios to make him suffer. But he is the one making himself suffer. You know, it's just, you know, it's everyone has their own demon, basically. So that's the idea. But this demon is really dealing with this guy. So yeah. So that's the concept of this scene. So let's go on to I think I've actually, okay, for the lighting, yeah, the lighting here, I think the main focus was here because this is where he landed. Oh, okay, I didn't tell the part how I did this falling. You know, it was just hanging in the air like this. Let me even start from there. This is the beginning. I made, because, you know, if you want to simulate an outfit, you need the character to be in a T pose or A pose. So most times I start my animation like from frame 50 or frame 25, you know, because all this part isn't just standing in T pose. Then I'll start my animation frames away from the beginning. You understand? So I can get the perfect simulation of the clothes. And the clothes is actually, the clothes is like the hero, is part of the hero in this scene. Because look at this dope flowing. Look at how flowy the clothes is really dope here. You can see him running here. The clothes really was going. Oh shit, I love that. Okay, this scene, I love what I did with this place. And as I said in the last time, I'm going to make another tutorial specific for this camera cut. Yeah, for this camera cut, because they're actually important and it made my work easy. So the one thing about this camera cut, you don't need to render out your like, for example, what I used to do before is I'm going to render out all this frame for each camera, then I'll start cutting them in an editing app or editing software. But now I don't need to do all that because I already planned out my shot here, right there. So yeah, for this scene, I think I did something with the camera here. I increased the focal length. So I really want that his mouth of him shouting and running to be in the camera there. So I think, yeah, I think I've ironed everything here in this scene. I'm done with. Let me see if I forgot anything. I think that's another I'm done with this breakdown. Yeah, obviously I added some light on his path. Yes, because everywhere is dark. So I added this light on his path to give way to us seeing him coming and running towards the camera, away from the camera, running away from his demon. Yeah. So and another thing I didn't mention is that I'm making sure, if you notice my film, that I'm animating the transition of each scene together with the entire scene. Like this place now, the transition here gave way for the next scene. Just like how it has been happening from the beginning of this. If you go see, I'm going to show the transition part now in this right here, right now, in this video. So you understand what I mean? This is a transition here. This is a transition. So I animated my transition all together with the scene. So that was the goal of the film. I want seamless transition. I want the story to continue without people. There are some movies or film you see, and you can tell the transition is clear. And there are some that they are really sneaky with transition. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So, and not knowing what is coming, just like the eyes scene, where the eyes just came out of nowhere. I love that scene. Some people actually find it scary. Well, yeah. But funny enough, many people find the last scene scarier than the eyes scene. That's funny actually. I thought the eyes scene is going to be the topmost scariest part of this film, but no. And I think I'm done with this scene, and let's go to the last scene, which is supposed to be what? I think the sixth scene. Yeah. It should be the sixth scene. Okay, so this is the last scene of my film. And remember when I was talking about the transition effect? So you can see the last scene ended with a white background. I continue with that white here. And if you notice that I did on each scene, the transition, I really want to create a very dope transition between my scenes. So that I actually made that. So let's get into this more. Yeah, so these are some grease pencil. I got this entire setup from Sketchfab too, but I did some tweaking. All these wall art, I made them because it suits his personality and the kind of person he is. I would have modeled everything, but I don't have the time, man. I'm just one person, and I had to just work fast. If you check the actual film, the links to every asset are there on my YouTube channel. Yeah, right here on my YouTube channel, you see I link all these guys, these dope guys. They really help me out. The character and animation, I did those by myself. So imagine me model everything. If I had done this myself, this is going to take me like a year less. If I'm fast, it will take me a year. And if I'm moving in moderate speed, it might take me maybe 2 or 1.5 years. So because I have other responsibilities to attend to. So now let's get into the trick in this scene. Obviously he's in a trance because everything was happening in his head. My story, this is actually the beginning of the story. So those stories where the beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. Yeah, this is where I should have started from, but no, it wouldn't tell the story the way I wanted it. So yeah, so he's in a trance here. But at the end of the film, I said check on your people, because you don't know what one call can actually do in someone's life. So this scene also. Oh, I forgot to mention, in Marvelous Designer, if you notice that the cloth is actually interacting with this seat perfectly. So every scene you saw this guy sitting, I imported a OBJ of this couch into Marvelous Designer to serve as a collision object for the clothes. So that you can do that. That's another trick. So because it wouldn't make sense if this cloth is going into the couch. I take my simulation serious, especially if it's the character wardrobe. Yeah, so this is Padimi. If you're in Nigeria, you understand what Padimi means. It means my friend. And I created this bouncing icon to indicate call. Everything is I want the hybrid comic feel. I want to. I love what I did with this basket, this grease pencil stuff here. I love the way it came out. I don't know. I was just playing and I love the way the stroke here. So I just kept it there. It's actually like a mistake, but it looks dope. I left it there regardless. So these are my camera cuts. This is where he woke up and he found that his phone actually woke him up. His friend was calling him. He picked up the call. The trick now is, so when the guy left, I wanted him to go out of the scene and focus back on the demon. This is the part where I said people found scarier. People were like, his demon is still here, following him all around, and it's crazy fun. Yeah, I never really animated a hand like this. She's a demon, and she can do anything she likes. Like, you can twist her head. I would have done that so to look more scarier. So that is how I intro. So even this part, I made him go out of the scene and introduce the demon to actually finish the story here. And so him picking the call here is a trick for me to finish the story. And introduce the demon, because his demon is still he owned the demon. His demon would always be around, just like all of us. We have our demon following us everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to portray here. So she's still around, but his friend's call actually made him forget the demon. She's actually pretty, Maybe he is in love with the demon. So another trick here is the portal behind the chair, behind the couch. Let me show that this portal here is actually just a cycle I animated to scale up. You understand? So, and for this the same trick I did in the first scene, she was under the scene and I brought her up to do the animation and stuff. So I actually sent this same couch to iClone to animate it, to make the animation look interactive with the demon, because I hand on the couch and everything is going to look dope. And I think so. The lights here, I'm coming. Where's the? So if you notice, if you look at this part of these lights, the power part here, by the right side of the screen, so the trick is, when the portal came on, it wouldn't make sense if that portal doesn't emit light, just like the previous scene where the doors were emitting light. So I faked the portal, creating a like bouncing light all around the scene with this light here. So if you notice, I animated the power from 0 to 100 to brighten the behind the scene, behind the couch, I mean. So to bring out the silhouette of this demon better and crispier. Yeah, I love that shot there. And one thing is that, do you guys notice that this scene here and this scene, you can see the lights went out. So I actually animated the light here. All the lights here went out to give space for the silhouette at the back of the couch, the silhouette of these boxes and the demon, because the demon won't look scary at all, because I believe I achieved my aim, because many people find this scene more scary, and I believe it's my intention of taking out the light here, because this light is very pretty. I love this scene. This is another beautiful scene, very colorful scene in my film. So me taking out the light actually gave that scary vibe more. And yeah, that's another trick there. I don't know if anybody caught what I wrote behind behind this. I wrote "I could die." I was actually replying to myself. But obviously the character also is an artist. You can see he's a very creative guy. So you can see his room. He plays basketball, he skates, he does see all his awards on the wall and stuff. Yeah, so and he has his gaming setup here. This is actually a setup. You can see this is actually a setup here. So, but I don't really need much of that. I didn't need all this detail for the film like that. So because the scene I didn't stay much there. Part of that room I showed was just this part. I didn't go into details to show all this part of the room. And shout out to the guy who made that room. So like I said, I did my own tweak on the environment and even the placement of the couch. I think, yeah, I moved them. And yeah, so let me see. Then another trick is there something else I created here that wasn't in this? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, so obviously I think I've spoken on the camera cut. Yeah, that I do my camera cut in Blender. I don't do that in any editing software. It's better to do it in Blender for me. I don't know about any other person, but I prefer doing my camera cut in Blender while animating and doing all my stuff. So I think I'm done with the breakdown, and I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I actually enjoyed breaking this down for you guys. I've always wanted to do this, but I've been busy, and since after my film got selected for different festivals, I feel it should be dope when people actually come to my channel and see a breakdown of the film itself. And yeah, it's fun. It was mad fun. I had 6 scenes, as you can see. It was mad fun, and 6 scenes of animating for months. And so all these tricks are actually needed for you to, do dope stuff. Because not like the reason why I'm doing some of these tricks is because my PC can actually take heavy stuff. But it wouldn't make sense to not optimize your scene because your PC can take it. Because you wouldn't enjoy your creation when everything is laggy. And yeah, so that's that for the breakdown. Yeah, see you. So that's that for the breakdown. I hope you enjoyed like I do. I enjoyed telling you guys all my secret now. You guys know my secret now. So go ahead and create your own film. This is the end of the video, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you want to support me further, you can check out the link in the description to check out my store, my Gumroad store and Revolution store. The Gumroad store has a Blender file from my previous tutorial. If you are into jiggle physics, you can check it out. And my Revolution store has the new character I just dropped called Zane. This character accessories and skin are all compatible with your own custom character. And this is the end of it. Much love. See you in the next one, and peace.